In what ways did your media product use, develop, or challenge forms of conventions of real media products? Looking back on our target audience, we discovered that their favourite fantasy films were films that are part of a franchise, e.g. Harry Potter and Twilight. We decided to go with magic as one of the most commonly used conventions and appeared to be the easiest to involve in our media product. Fantasy films have many subgenres. Subgenres break down all the different kinds of fantasy films, such as comic fantasy, specifically designed as a spoof or to add humorous elements. An example would be Elf. Dark fantasy, which adds a grimmer side to fantasy, involving magic creatures, evils, and demons. The best example for this would be Nightmare on Elm Street. Fairy tales and mythology. Narnia fits into this category and is commonly known as a more childish genre. However, it does have a dark side to it. Magic realism. This is a subgenre that we've tried to focus on. We wanted to incorporate spells and time travel. We wanted to have the idea that using magic always had a consequence behind it. We were highly influenced by Harry Potter, as did all of our favourite fantasy films. We also tried to incorporate modern fantasy, as we wanted to keep the movie as contemporary as possible. I also found that modern fantasy is strongly influenced by Twilight, which is watched by one of the largest audiences of this decade, making us want to make our 2 minutes appeal to a modern audience with a twist of fantasy. We thought it would be more interesting to base our film around an object that manages to transport our character, Emma, backwards and forwards in time, even though it's already been done before in films such as Jumanji, which is based on time travel. I feel we've displayed this idea and developed it as it has not been directly done before. After deconstructing the first 2 minutes of our fantasy films, I found out at the beginning of Harry Potter and Jumanji, diegetic music was used to create tension and was a very good way of engaging the audience into the scene. We wanted the audience to build a relationship with Emma, who is the main character, in the first 2 minutes, so that it was vital to find good music and editing techniques. You'll often find in most films that the first 2 minutes of the film is to familiarise the audience with the character, which was what our aim was to also do. Overall, we tried to be more creative with our films. We used modern characters, however added a 90s film style by setting it in an attic. Overall, we tried to keep the mood of our piece quite mellow and progressively get tenser and have a climax at the end before showing the title of the film.